Oh yes, RedWolf TV has a long history of reviewing launchers. Way back when I did the M79 review, I said every presenter needs to do a launcher video. It's kinda like a rite of passage. Not gonna lie, there hasn't been much innovation in the launcher space. They've more or less been the same old, same old. Different look, same mechanism. While launchers have all kind of stayed the same, well, more or less, grenades, on the other hand, have gone through something of a revolution. Well, it's more like a purge, led by Airsoft Innovations 40 Mic and Master Mic. What we have seen with these two grenades is that the old launchers just weren't cutting it. You have problems like the 40 mic would be too heavy, and when you put it in the cylinder, it just wouldn't rotate properly if it's fully loaded. ICS MGL. Oh, where did that come from? Or the other thing would be, when you pull the trigger, you just didn't get enough pressure to strike that firing pin to send all your BBs down. All of this sounds like first world problems. But now, there is a solution to said problem from the makers of the Black Hornet full auto pistol and the famed Cam 870. Yes, APS made themselves a launcher that claims to be able to, well, unleash the full potential of your BB shower grenades. Well, at least that's what it says on paper. The APS Thor grenade launcher is a pistol-style grenade launcher made completely out of plastic. But don't be fooled, it's not the cheap plastic that some may expect it to be, but it's actually pretty rugged and relatively durable. In this traditional pistol style, these type of launchers are my personal favorite. They just look so sci-fi, like something out of Hellboy. It's like holding a hand cannon and it just feels good. And in this kind of pistol configuration, you'd probably be able to fit it in one of those universal pistol holsters. You just gotta open it up to its widest setting and it'd probably fit. But it does have this little nub right here. And more on this later. Where this one from APS might differ is it features both a top and bottom rail for the mounting of accessories, so if you want to mount a small grip on it, you can. Or if you want to mount a laser designator like a pet box on the top, you can do that as well. Even if you want to mount a scope on top, I don't know why you would do it, but you can. What I'm trying to say is, I feel like the possibilities are endless. To open the launcher up and load your shell, you simply press this button right here, and it opens to the side. Now, I have to say, I really like this style of opening way more than the traditional break open style that sometimes you see featured on this type of pistol grenade launcher. For lefties out there, sorry, it only opens in this direction, so you're gonna have to put it back in your right hand, or load it like this, or like this. I'm sorry guys, it's a right-handed friendly launcher. Nothing against you lefties though. Now earlier in this video, I directed your attention to this nub right here, and I said I wanted to show you guys what this actually does. Now, this is kind of like its clip. I want to call it a holster. You take this and you clip it in, and you can hang this off of your vest or your plate carrier or your belt, and it just moves. It swivels like this. Now, I'm really interested to find out if I can clip this to my belt and rotate it and shoot it like those old-fashioned like cowboy duelists, right? I think that'll be really cool and really helpful if you think about it. You're grabbing this, walking into a room, turning, pop! I think that's really interesting. Gonna have to try that later. Here's the nub, and if you rotate it, is this lever here. Now, here's where the magic happens, and it deserves more show and tell. So I'm gonna leave this for a little bit later on down in the video, so make sure you don't go away. Overall, the launcher feels rigid and solid. It aims well, points well, and the grip angle, well, feels like a pistol. The only thing left to do now is to take it out for a spin. we are at W28 Center, and thank you to you guys at W28 for letting us come out here and film on this lovely day where we've seen, once again, the 40 mic and its effectiveness in full display. But we're not here talking about the 40 mic, but whereas something I mentioned a little earlier, and this lever right here. Now, if you guys guessed that this is probably the safety lever, congratulations! You and me, we both thought the same thing, at first at least, when I first picked this thing up. But I'm here to tell you that this is actually a cocking lever. That's right. This sucker is a lever action grenade launcher. Probably the first of its kind. Well, at least to me, it's the first I've ever seen it in this kind of implementation. And if you wondered, why in the world are you wearing shorts? Well, that's because I don't want to get beer all over my nice combat pants, and come on, it's about as hot as the surface of the sun up here. By cocking this lever down like this, it primes the firing pin inside, as you can see here. Now, why is this a good thing? It's because after you have primed the firing pin, it is a very, very light trigger pull. Unlike some other shell launchers where you have to pull very hard and very deep to make sure it hits the primer to expend all of your BBs downrange. Do this a couple times, your fingers are gonna hurt and potentially even bruise. Now, not everybody's got strong and fast fingers like Gambit. Now, allow me to elaborate with a comparison. This is the Shogun's mini hand cannon grenade launcher, and I have to say, it is absolutely jaw-droppingly beautiful with its wooden accents. Now, this is a traditional launcher, meaning that it's pressure activated. It needs the strength of my finger to actuate the firing pin, as you can see. There it is. The key here is to make sure you pull the trigger hard and fast to give the firing pin enough pressure to activate the grenade, in this case, the 40 mic, as you can see from this demonstration. Now, it did work, but I had to pull the trigger down really fast and had to keep it held down the whole time. And when I finished, when I pulled the trigger a little bit, there was still a little bit of gas left. That means it's a little bit inefficient, and it couldn't expend all the gas from this 40 mic. I mean, it may seem like a first world problem, but it is a problem nonetheless. Imagine having to fire off multiple of these grenades with a pressure activated grenade launcher much like the one we just shot. You're gonna get a bruised finger, I can guarantee you that. But with this thing, it just makes it so much easier. So, there's still one more thing that I really want to try. Yeah, it's time. Are you feeling lucky, punk? So, I think we've proven the point that the launcher is pretty good and it works pretty effectively. But I also hear you guys loud and clear in my DMs as well as in the comments. Oi mate, we can't use the 40 mic on our fields, innit? Well, you know, so it's all well and good, but no 40 mic, so meh. Hey, don't go yet. Don't go yet. I got something more to tell you guys. The reason why I said what I just said. Now, when the 40 mic and of course the master mic came out, it basically purged the industry of all the different types of shower grenades. It dropped the proverbial bomb on them, if you may allow me to use that pun. But from the ashes of destruction comes a new challenger, one that's supposed to be the companion to the Thor launcher. This guy, the Hellfire grenade, well, also from APS. As we all see from our shooting tests done here today, the 40 mic is a great longer range tool, considering it's a grenade, of course. But it takes a bit of time for its stream of BBs to actually become a spread. And that's why AI came out with the master mic. But it still needed a little bit of space for its stream to become a spread as well. What if you needed a big spread, like right away? Like right the moment you pulled that trigger? Well, that's where the old shower grenade kind of came into play. But they had the same issue that the mics addressed. They were just not powerful enough to be taken seriously or even to be used in any kind of capacity, not even in CQB. But you know what? I'm just gonna show you. Now, as we could clearly see, there was a whole lot of spread with a whole lot of BBs. Now, the range wasn't as far as what you'd expect from like a 40 mic or a master mic, and it can't shoot as hard. However, it definitely solves the problem of having effective, like truly effective ranges from 3 to 5 feet. You turn a corner, bang, there you go. And it did give out a very satisfying bang nonetheless, which then now leads me to my next question, or something that you guys may be interested in. How hard can this thing really shoot? Now, I'm pretty sure it can't explode cans like you saw with the 40 mic. So I'm gonna do something for you guys. The things I do for you. I'm gonna stand downrange and I'm gonna let our producer shoot me. Man, let's do this. The Hellfire grenade comes in 2 different configurations. A 198 rounder and a 162 rounder. It's also dual power sourced, green gas and CO2. The one that we have in the launcher today is a 162 rounder powered with green gas. Still, I don't feel any better saying that. Oh. Oh God. Okay. You may be wearing some armor, but you're gonna feel it. Did it really hurt? Now, it didn't really hurt, but I sure feel it in my neck, and I feel it in my back. And it did sting a little. Did it pack enough punch to make spectacular explosions like the 40 mic and the master mic? I don't think so. But you're definitely gonna feel it. And that's it from me. Back to the studio. Man, it's good to be back in an air-conditioned room. When I said surface of the sun, I don't think I was exaggerating at all when I said that. But if you want to watch another launcher video, why don't you click on the card above. Check out the video I did way back in the day of the M79. Good stuff. Vietnam era stuff. My favorite. Now, the Thor grenade launcher. Yes, the title seems a little clickbaity, but I'm gonna have to say, I don't think the title was wrong. Because at the end of the day, what really makes this particular launcher so great and how it maximizes your grenade so well is simply it's providing the much needed consistency that a lot of launchers didn't have. The easy and light trigger pull with its lever action allows this launcher to truly expend all the gas and shoot out all the rounds of your grenade every single time, truly maximizing its performance at every pull of the trigger. Now, with this launcher, doesn't mean that other launchers such as the Shogun mini hand cannon is all of a sudden bad? No, I don't think so at all, especially that Shogun one. It's beautifully made with all its wooden accents. However, what I am saying is, if you're going to be shooting more than 2 or 3 grenades in a game, or even during the whole day, you're gonna have some problems. Not to mention the bruising of your finger, you're also gonna have just inconsistent trigger pulls because of fatigue and overtime use, and you're just not gonna get everything you want out of that grenade. So, with all that said, do I feel like this launcher is perfect without fault? Oh, no. Because as a consumer, I would like to say this. I'd like to direct your attention towards the nub. See, this thing, I felt like they should have just committed to it and just mounted it on the gun. If they're going to give you the option to remove it, at least put some Loctite on this thing, right? Because it comes off way too easily. And during the filming outside, it came off at least twice. Because with all the swinging and the turning, it's going to come loose. So if you're going to have it and you want to keep it there, put some Loctite on this thing. Second, this pistol grip. The angle's great. It feels great in my hand. Until, in my well-intended thinking, I wanted to take this thing off to see if I can replace it with something else to show you guys. And so I took it off. But the problem was putting it back on because it's only held together with a nut. And the nut is not even bolted down or glued onto anything. It's loose. Then I had to go take it downstairs and let our techs take the whole thing apart just to screw the grip back on. So take it from me. Can you remove the grip? Yes. But unless you're prepared to disassemble the thing just to put the grip back on, words of advice, don't do it. Finally, the Hellfire grenade. Now, what can I say about this thing? Did it serve a purpose within 3 to 5 feet? Absolutely. I feel like it's finally a shower grenade that can be taken seriously. I mean, within that distance, I would say pretty lethal. But did it have the deep penetrating power? No, it didn't. It couldn't even bust open a fully shaken can of beer that's been sitting in the sun for God knows how long. But could I feel it when I was shot? Yes. Is it the second coming of Christ? No. Is it one of the more powerful shower grenades? Yes. Could it rival the 40 mic? No. So at the end of the day, I feel like in combination with the Thor launcher, yes, it has some application to it, especially in CQB. Finally, a shower grenade that can be taken seriously, by the way. Other than that, I would stick to a 40 mic or a master mic if you want any kind of effectiveness outside of 5 feet. Airsoft grenades and airsoft grenade launchers can at times be a dime a dozen, but I do think that this particular implementation from APS is the way of the future. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you like cool products like this and many more, don't forget to check out our online store at www.redwolfairsoft.com. Stay safe, have fun. You thought this video was cool, don't forget to share it with your friends. Give us a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to get notified every single time we have a new video out. Now, guys, I'll see y'all on the next episode of RWTV.